Algebra students. Happy Tuesday. Today we are going to do a quick little lesson, some more exponent rules we need to cover, and then there's another Google form over the exponents that we go over today. A quick little two announcements. There is homework help after school in the library for all subjects. So you can come as soon as school gets over until I believe 4:30. We have after school homework help in the library for any subject. So I will be there on Wednesdays and Thursdays if you want to come get math help from me, or I can help you in any subject that you need help with. Second announcement, read the directions carefully for each question. I had a lot of people email me and say, I didn't know you could choose more than one option. If it says check all options that apply, that means there's probably more than one right answer. All right, so today we're going to be doing product of powers and quotient of powers. So the product of powers states exponents, when they're being multiplied by each other, you're going to add them together. Why does this work? Well, looking down here, if I have x to the third, I'd multiply x by itself 3 times. And if I have x to the second power, I'd multiply x 2 times. Well, count them up. How many x's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I have powers that are being multiplied by each other, I add them together. Not multiply, add them together. So example 1, I have x to the third times x to the fourth. So that would be x to the 3 plus 4, and 3 plus 4 gives me x to the 7th power. So that's how you do these kinds of problems. And then I just have a couple more things that you might encounter on your homework. So I have -2 and a 4, so that would be x, -2 plus 4. So that would give me x to the x to the 2. And I would write it just like that. And one last example, x to the -3rd times x to the 5th. What would that be simplified? So to the -3 plus the -5. So -3 plus -5 gives me a -8. So remember back to yesterday's assignment, anytime I have a negative exponent, I can rewrite that as 1 over x to the 8th, and it becomes positive. So this is how you could answer that kind of question. Quotient of powers. So that tells me anytime I'm dividing exponents, I'm going to subtract. So when I was multiplying, I added, and when I'm dividing, I subtract. So x to the 6th divided by x to the 2 becomes x to the 6 minus 2, or x to the 4th. I can see that that works over here. If I have 6 x's on the top, 2 x's on the bottom, 2 of them will cancel out, and then I'm left with 4 x's, or x to the 4th. Here's some example problems. 6 to the 8th over 6 squared becomes 6 to the 8 minus 2, or 6 to the 6th power. And I can plug that into my calculator to get an answer. And 6 to the 6th power is 46,656. Next example, x to the 16 over x to the 12 becomes x to the 16 minus 12. Remember, when I'm dividing exponents, I subtract. 16 minus 12 gives me 4. Last example, x to the -8 divided by x to the -2. X to the -8 minus a -2. 2 negatives make a positive, so -8 plus 2 gives me x to the -6th. So if I have a negative exponent, I can rewrite that with 1 over x to the 6th, and it means the same thing. Make sure to choose all the correct answers on the ones that say choose the right option. Your homework assignment today is the Google form. If you have any questions, reach out to your teacher.